I'm a creep. I'm a widow. Hey guys, Hal here coming at you with another movie review. Today we're going to be reviewing Heretic, which stars Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East. It's written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, and it's a psychological stroke thriller about two young religious women drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. As soon as I heard that Hugh Grant was playing the villain in this movie, I wanted to get my hands on it. I actually missed seeing it in the cinema, so I managed to get hold of it last night, popped it on, and I wanted to see what Hugh Grant would bring to the screen. We were used to seeing his comedic timing and his lovely charm that he always brings, but I wanted to see if he could bring anything different, and he certainly does. He brings that charm and his comedic timing, but puts this sadistic twist on it, and it's really captivating stuff. So Hugh Grant was definitely something I was looking forward to seeing, and he didn't let me down whatsoever. So as I said in the intro to the video, it's about two religious women that are missionaries going to people's houses trying to convert them to Mormonism, and they just find themselves at Hugh Grant's house, who has actually requested that these girls come over to provide him with more information on their religious study, and they regret it as soon as they turn up. You may have actually seen these kind of people kicking about your neighbourhoods. You usually see like two chaps going around with bikes. They're usually well dressed, and they go around knocking at people's doors, providing them with information, a leaflet, giving them the information on what religion it is that they are following. And that's what these two girls are. It is strange, actually, that it is two girls, because you usually do see blokes that are knocking about, really. So you can see that actually it's quite vulnerable when they first go to this house, and you can certainly see where the danger lies in them just going around knocking at people's houses. When they finally arrive at Hugh Grant's house and he invites them in to discuss things further, it's quite clear and obvious when they get in there that actually he knows way more about the religious studies than he's let on originally. The girls only actually agree to go into the house in the first place because they're under the impression that Hugh Grant's wife is out back baking a blueberry pie. So with the girls in the house under false pretenses, the movie actually turns into this religious lecture that then slowly turns into an intellectual religious debate, with asking some very difficult questions from Hugh Grant, but then with the girls wanting to try and answer these questions, but in a way that doesn't offend him and doesn't put themselves in a more awkward position. I mean, these scenes at the beginning, there's a certain tone to them and a certain lighting. The lights are even on like a timer, so every once in a while they'll go out, and you can hear that timer in the background kind of ticking away. It's a very strange, eerie feeling when you're watching have these conversations about religion. But I was captivated. I very much enjoyed it. I mean, on paper, the idea of just having three people in a room discussing religion sounds shit boring, but I really quite enjoyed it. I really did like where the story went with that, actually. And the way they tell the story keeps you interested because they bring in certain props, i.e. board games, they bring in music, and it's the way he kind of describes these different religions and the iterations of religions by using board games and music and pop culture references. And there was a part where actually it got me thinking, and I even thought, well, yeah, that's quite true. You know, Star Wars can be even looked at as very much a religion-based story. And he brings that up. And it just touches on so many good things just to keep you interested. So the performances in the film are great too. Obviously the standout is Hugh Grant, as I already touched on. We're so used to seeing his comical timing and his romantic charm in other films like Love Actually, Notting Hill and About a Boy. So it's great to see him in this role, and he turns all of that on its head and brings this very sadistic, really uncomfortable character, and he brings that to the screen, which is great. You've also got Chloe East and Sophie Thatcher. Sophie Thatcher I've just seen recently in Companion, and she has more to do in that than she does in this, but what she does do in this is great. Chloe East is the more, say, squeaky clean kind of religious girl in this, and she's more on the innocent side, but they all nail their roles, and actually the chemistry between all three of them is great, especially the two girls. I like their friendship, their closeness. You can tell that one of them's a little bit different to the other, but they support each other, and that makes you invested in their story throughout. Going into this film, I was aware that it was going to be very heavy on religion and the discussion and debate of religion, but about 3/4 of the way through, it does have a bit of a tonal shift. It goes quite dark in places. I don't mean like graphically, I mean more so just where the story takes us, the lighting and everything goes quite dark. And in some parts, I actually thought to myself, is this story going to start taking us down a supernatural route? Because there's discussions of resurrections and life after death, and they start going down that kind of road. And it certainly had me second guessing about where this film was going to be taking us. So overall, Heretic's a real good, tight little psychological horror stroke thriller. The pacing's excellent. The performances are really good. Hugh Grant obviously is the standout character in this, and it's brilliant to see him play this villain. It's worth checking out just to see him in this. You know, he's got that comedic charm, as I said. And so, yeah, very good. The tonal shift that comes 3/4 of the way through is actually, in hindsight, quite a welcoming tonal shift. It needed it, I think, just to keep the story captivating. The suspense is very good as well throughout. So, yeah, very good film. If you've not seen it, it is worth checking out. So that's been my review of Heretic. If you've enjoyed it, then please subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell, because when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious